this is Amber from Mom Stitcher. I have the little one with me. I don't think he's gonna take a nap right now. And I've been putting it off and putting it off to make a video. But I have so much to show that I couldn't wait any longer. So we'll get started with life updates. Not much is really going on. School's still going on, which I'm happy about. COVID is rampant here, but I think it is everywhere. But the weather's been crummy, but today we actually have some sunlight and I love it. I should probably go open the windows and let the fresh air come in. But other than that, not really a whole lot going on. Just trying to get in a normal routine, you know. After the holidays, it's always crazy and chaotic, but I've been stitching a whole lot because I have a whole lot that I want to purchase, and I'm not gonna let myself do that until I'm done with a few. I started and finished one since my last video. It's a gift for somebody, but I'm pretty sure she doesn't watch this, so I should be able to show it and her not say it before I mail it off. I'm putting together 2 packages to send off to some friends. One is a stitchy friend and one is the friend that I made the one stitch for, the New Kids on the Block. I need to get to the post office to do that. I've been watching a ton of Flosstube. My husband thinks Flosstube is ridiculous, but he's actually been watching it with me. He was watching, I think it was Stitchman Darcy with me one day, and he was pretty interested. He liked his whips, and we got to talking about Heaven on Earth designs and how I've had it in the back of my head that I want to do one for a while, but I'm intimidated by it. So he actually picked out one that he wants me to do. It's pretty big, but the goal is, if I can finish my Native American piece, or when I finish it, then I will purchase a Heaven and Earth design. So I've got a couple in my cart or in my wish list that I want to do, and I'm actually trying to hurry with my Native American piece so I can get one. I did have some questions. So anybody that has done a Heaven and Earth design, do you buy the fabric and thread from Heaven and Earth, or do you purchase it yourself? Is it cheaper to purchase it yourself, or is it just worth the less hassle to do it on there and just get it all together? Also, as far as the mini and the regular, or the mini and the regular, like, what do you prefer if you've ever done both? Like, does the coverage make a difference? I've never done one before, and I really, really do want to do one. Should I start with something else that's full coverage, or should I just go all in? I really want to start with a Heaven and Earth. I know I can do it. It's intimidating, like, to add all that to your cart. It's like, that's a lot of money. Is it worth it? Am I gonna hate it after I buy it and start it? Like, I've never done full coverage like that, so I really want to, and especially now that my husband's like, oh, you should do this one. This one's really cute. So, let's see. Let's get started with, I only have 2 whips that I've been working on for the past month, other than my finishes. I worked on that nonstop until I completed it because I really need to send it off before her birthday. But like I said, I've been working on my Native American piece, and I'm so close to done, but I have messed up on it so many times that none of the stitches are adding up, and that's why I stopped working on it. But I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to push through. I'm going to just fudge it all the way. So I've only got, this is what it's supposed to look like. And all I have left is this little guy right here. And then it's some back stitching. So it's a mess right now because I'm currently working on it. But this is how much progress I've done since the last time I've done all of this right here, this, and then started it right here. So all I have left is like the top part, the head of this cat. So I'm so close to being done with it that I'm pushing through. I do enjoy doing it. It just frustrates me to no end that I have messed up along the way and can't figure out where I messed up. And it's kind of thrown off the whole entire thing because I think I've messed up multiple times. But I've been working on this piece since March 2019. So if I get it done in March, it'll be exactly 3 years that it took me to do this piece. The other piece that I've been working on is still a favorite of mine. I just love it so much, and it strains my eyes to do it because it's such small count. But it is the Mirabilia Roses of Provence. This is what it's supposed to look like. Ezra, you're not gonna let me show it? And this is my progress. A lot of the stuff that I've done is just fill in. I've not really gone much further out. I'm just doing a lot of fill in because I'm trying to complete a page that I uploaded to, I think I used the markup. Bless you. Bless you. So anyway, that one I've just been kind of stitching along here and there. I enjoy doing it. I just have a headache after I get done with it. And I really want to finish it because I want to do other Mirabilias. So that's my favorite piece right now. The Native American is definitely my second favorite. Once I get that done, I'm probably going to get it professionally framed because I've spent so much time on it. It's not full coverage, but it's very close to full coverage, and it's on very small count. I think it's on, let me see if I can find it. It's on 18 count ivory, Ada. And another thing that I've never used a kit before, so this is my first kit, the Native American piece, and I'm running out of thread on some pieces, and it's very frustrating because the kits have their own colors. They're not, you can't just go, I mean, this kit's really old. 1999, so I don't think I could email them. I don't know if that's even a thing, if you can email them and get the thread for it, but I think I can make it work. In some places I can just use a similar color probably. So I'm just like right there at the end of all of my threads, and I'm just holding my breath that I have enough for each stitch. But that one's progressing. The main reason I started working on it was because my husband was making fun of me the other day. He was like, you have all of these stitches that you want to stitch, and you've been working on this one for 3 years. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to finish it. Dang it. So I am determined to get this finished. I thought about adding some beading to it, to her necklace and her earrings, but I don't have any. I would have to dip into my Mirabilia beads, but I think that would be fine. I think there's more than enough in those kits, or in those boxes. So, that's all I've been working on other than my finish. And I'll go ahead and show it because I'm so proud of it. I debated on putting it in a frame, but after I watched the Vintage Stitchers, Artie from the Vintage Stitcher, she did a tutorial on a pillow. After I watched that, I was like, you know what, I really want to do a pillow. So I had all the stuff to do a pillow. I didn't have a frame to frame it, so I put this together, and I'm really happy with it. My friend, we've been friends for 13 years, and her favorite band is New Kids on the Block. I didn't even know who New Kids on the Block was before I met her. It was a little bit before my time, and because she's quite a bit older than me, and she introduced me to them because she was always listening to them every time I was in her car, and they were catchy. Like, I liked their music at the time. They had a new album, and I really liked the album. So she's like, "You haven't listened to any of their old stuff?" And we started listening to all their old stuff, and then I just kind of became a fan. They're actually the only concert I've actually been to, and I haven't been to any other group concerts. I did see Backstreet Boys when they did a tour with New Kids on the Block, but before that, I never went to any other concerts. So anyway, this is it. Oh, let me say, it is a pattern by Pixel Man Strikes Back on Etsy, and it's on 14 count. I started it January 7th and finished it February 3rd. I love it. It was so fun to do, other than I had a hard time finding all of the threads because it's not easy to just go buy DMC thread here. So I love it. I'm going to purchase more patterns from them because they have this company, this shop has literally every band you could think of. It has TV shows and movies, and I think I'm going to purchase a couple more. Anyway, it says step by step. Gonna get to you, girl. And then at the very top, I added the date that I did it, my initials, her initials, and the year that we became friends, and BFF. I really wanted to add the year, and then I think she would really like having our initials on there and the year that we became friends. Okay, I had to take a time out because Ezra had a complete and total blowout. So you might hear him in the background. He's sitting right here next to me in his little rocker. He gets loud sometimes. So anyway, that was one of my finishes. Another couple of finishes, they're old stitches, like I've stitched them years ago, and I got in the mood to finish and was really tired of them being in storage. So I finished this one. This is not my stitch. It says, if friends were flowers, I'd pick you. This is actually a stitch by one of my best friends. I think it was stitched 15 years ago, maybe even 16 years ago. And she's like, here, this is for you. Like, I had taught her how to stitch, and she had spent a week with me because I lived in Los Angeles at the time. And she's from Mississippi. So I taught her how to stitch, and this was her first piece, which is really good in my opinion. And she left it for me. And it's just been sitting in my finishes for 16 years. So I turned it into a pillow, and it doesn't match, but it's flowery, and I really love this fabric, and I had like a small piece of it, so I thought I would use it. Anyway, very cute. Another pillow finish. I love it. I have a perfect place for it in my bedroom, and yeah. So another finish that I have is, my daughter actually helped me do this. It's not as full as I would like for it to be, but she wanted to do the stuffing, and it was late at night and I was tired of telling her to keep stuffing it. But this is a finish. I don't remember when I finished it. I know it's been over 10 years since I finished it, and I really didn't want to have anywhere to put it on the wall, because we're running out of wall space in this house. So I thought, I'll just put it put it in a pillow. But here it is. I love Sleeping Beauty. My daughter's not crazy about it, but she just loved the idea of me finishing it into a pillow and giving it to her, so it stays on her bed now. This is not full coverage, but that's a lot of the same stitch over and over and over and over and over again, the same color. I don't remember stitching this that well. I do remember stitching her hair. I can't remember when I stitched. It was a long time ago. I think I lived in Louisiana, so that would have been 11 years ago, 12 years ago. So that's another fully finished. Got a pile of pillows over here. I don't remember if I had finished this one last time or fully finished it last time. I put it on some sticky board, and because I couldn't find a frame that I just loved with it, so I put it on a sticky board and I was just gonna hang it on the wall like that, and I hated it. I spent a long time putting it on sticky board, and it had gotten shoved, the sticky board had gotten shoved in one of my shelves that my husband had put it back there when he was rearranging the craft room, and so it was bent. And every time I looked at it, I was like, it's curved, it's not flat, it's driving me bananas, even after I spent an hour trying to get this thing on there. So I got these 2 frames in the mail, and I don't remember even why I ordered them. I ordered them a while back, and they've been sitting in a box for a couple weeks. But I was like, let me just put this in there, and it fit. Except the sticky board's still on there, and I can't get the back to close. However, I think I can figure something out. But this is it in a frame, and I'm happy with it finally. This is the birth announcement for Ezra, and I really like it. The thing that I hate the most is that there's a border on it, and it's not even with the frame. But at this point, I've messed with it so much, I'm like, I don't care. It's in a frame. I'm gonna hang it up. It is what it is. So I think where I messed up was this one, because it was so thick. I think you guys remember me complaining about how thick the fabric was. I don't know where I got it from. The wrinkles would not come out. I tried everything, and I think because I tried so hard to get the wrinkles out, it shifted, so nothing is straight on here, which I think is a problem that I've got to figure out a solution to, because some of my projects that I iron look like that. So if anybody has any tips on how to get the wrinkles out of the finished pieces, that would be awesome, because I am not good at it. I don't want to use starch because I'm afraid it'll turn. I don't wash my pieces. I probably should, but maybe that would get them out. It just terrifies me to think of washing them. I know everybody does it, so it's not a big deal, but I don't really know how to go about doing that. My other piece is, I've had this one for 14 years, almost 15 years, and have never framed it. And I finally framed it, and my daughter's like, you've never shown that to me. And I didn't realize that I'd never shown it to her. But it's her birth announcement. She was born in 2007. And that's her awful handprint. I think that's why I never framed it, because she smeared it when I went to put her handprint on, and I was like, oh, I messed it up. So this is it, and she actually had it in her room, which was really sweet, because she doesn't normally care about those types of things. But she was like, can I put it in my room? And I had to go get it out of her room to show it. But she's like, me and Ezra are the only ones that have birth announcements. You must love us more than the rest of them. So I have to go and make birth announcements for the rest of them. I did let the rest of them pick out birth announcements patterns. So I just, that's the patterns, some of the stuff that I really want to do. That's what I'm trying to get some of this other stuff done. So I think that's it. I did want to show this pretty project. I made a bunch of project bags. I made like 6 since my last video, but I can't remember which ones I made and didn't show because I already have projects in them. But this one I made, and I love it because 1, I love chevron, and 2, I love black and white. It's kind of Christmassy, so I put my Sugar Cookie Cricket Collection pattern in it, but I really like it. It's not, I don't think it's intended to be Christmassy, but it is to be. But here's the inside is chevron, and I really, really like it. I am struggling with the vinyl and getting the wrinkles out of the vinyl. I think my issue, and I might have mentioned this on my last video, is that my iron does not get hot enough. I know for vinyl you're not supposed to use it too hot or it'll melt. But I think with this batch of vinyl that I got, it was too thin. So I think I need to go thicker. I have been working on my crochet shawl that I showed a couple of videos ago. I'm so close to being done. I really just need to finish it. But it's my project that I do when my son's at Taekwondo. And I only do it at that time. I don't do it any other time. So that's why it's taking me so long to get it done. So I had a big find this week. It may not be that big of a find to any of you, but to me it was a big deal. One thing I wanted to have before I left Germany was an old German sewing machine. So I've been looking at the antique stores and online, and I just didn't find any that I wanted to pay a fortune for, especially for one that's not working. And I went to a flea market the other day, not intending to find anything of value, except I was actually on the lookout for baby clothes. And I stumbled upon this old sewing machine, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really nice. And the lady, she starts telling me like all the history of it, and she said she thinks it's about 135 years old. It's made by, I might say this wrong, Pfaff, P-F-A-F-F, in Germany, here in the town or in the state that I'm at, which made it even more unique because it's here where I'm at in Germany, used to be the manufacturer. And she told me the company actually was head to head with Singer. And if you compare this model to a Singer, it looks exactly the same. So it all still works. She showed me, she actually sewed for me right there on the spot. And yeah, she showed me how to thread it. She showed me all of the, like how to oil it and everything. And I asked her how much, and she told me, and I was like, oh, that's a steal. I have to get it. And I bought it. I was like, and it comes with, it still has the old, here, I'll insert a photo of the sewing machine. So that way, it's right here, but I'll insert a photo of it as well. That way I don't have to move the camera. But it still has the original things that came with it. Like this, I think held, she told me, I think it held the needles. It held something. Anyway, this was in there. This is the original tape measure that came with it. And this is the original box. I think some of the stuff in here is not original, but this is the original box that it came in. with the paper and everything. So anyway, I'm not a sucker for old stuff, but old crafting stuff, yes. And this is something I wanted to take away with me once I left Germany, because we're only here for 3 years. So I was excited. I thought it was a steal. Some of you might be like, oh, that's garbage, but I've sewn on it and it's so smooth, and the stitches are so perfect compared to my cheap brother sewing machine. I just love it. Like, I have a quilt that I need to finish, and I'm going to finish it on this sewing machine. So I will use it till I can't use it anymore. Probably more so than my newer sewing machine. So I'm excited about that. It was a huge deal. I was so excited when she told me the price, because I was like, this is definitely something that I can afford. So, and then she ended up giving me $20 off of it at the end. So she was only there to sell the sewing machine, and she actually knew the person that owned the sewing machine, she knew the granddaughter of the person who owned it. So anyway, and she had cleaned it up and fixed it up and was using it, but she was happy to know that it was going to go to a seamstress or someone that sews, and it was going to be used. So I was very happy. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. I do plan on I will post a photo of all of it. The front of it has plated the name of the company and then the town that it was manufactured in, and that's the state, and that's the state that I'm at. So that made me happy to see that. I'll always have that piece. Even if I never use the sewing machine, I'll always have that in my craft room. But all that to be said, that was my big find, and now I have a drive to want to go find more antiques. And I've never been an antique person, but everything here in Germany is so old and has so much history and has so much story to tell that I really want to go search for more. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't been to a whole lot of places yet, but I think it would be something fun to do. So another thing I wanted to do is do 20 facts, get to know me kind of thing, because I really enjoy watching all the FlossTubers, and I really when you hear their story, you really feel like there's baby slobber all over my shoulder. When you hear about them, it's like you're getting to know them, and like they become your friend, even though they have no idea who you are. It still seems like you're making a friend. So that was something I enjoyed from some other FlossTubers that I watched. So I thought I would add it in one of my videos. So the first one random fact, we'll do, I think I wrote down 10 random facts, and then like the rest of them are favorites, like favorite things. So one thing that is random and you probably don't know about me is I love playing Xbox. Usually when I tell people that, they're like, really? Me and my husband lead our youth at our church, and when I tell them that, they just think it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, half of my youth doesn't even play video games. So they're like, you play video games? But it all started when I got married to my husband, and he played video games all the time, like with him and his brother. And then his brother got married, and they played video games with, like, his wife and my husband and his brother all played video games all the time. And I was like, I'm tired of feeling left out. So I started playing with them and have been playing ever since. Now it's more of a way of communicating, because my brother plays a lot and I miss him. And we can't really talk because I have a German number and he has an American number. So, and he doesn't have an iPhone. So he's not on social media. So it's really the only way we can talk is when we play video games. So honestly, the only time I play is when my brother says, hey, you want to play? I'll jump on and play with him. And I'll play with my kids when they want to play. But another random fact is I hate cooking. I hate it so much. Like, I don't think I've ever liked cooking, to be honest with you. But me and my husband do 50-50. Like, I do one night, he does another night. We usually shop for 2 weeks worth of groceries at a time, and I do 1 week and he does another week, but we trade off every other day. So never have enjoyed cooking, especially for a big family. Another random fact is I lived in Japan before we moved here, Okinawa, Japan, and loved it. This is my favorite place we've ever lived at. Okinawa is different than mainland, so when you hear Japan, you probably think of Tokyo, which is the most popular place in Japan, but Okinawa is very quaint, farmer type area, but it's also surrounded by water. It's an island, so it's very tropical, and the weather there is beautiful all year long. So we went from hot weather all year long to mostly winter here in Germany. It's been a hard transition because the sun would shine every day in Okinawa, and it was just so beautiful. Another fun random fact about me is I have 5 kids. My oldest is 14. Her name is Cassie, and then I have Peyton, who is 12. I have Paisley, who is 9, and Deacon, who is 6, and Ezra, who is 4 months old. Another random fact is I got married to my husband at 17 years old, my senior year of high school. Another random fact is I was homeschooled until my sophomore year, and then my mom was like, okay, no more, you're going to public school. So I went to public school sophomore, junior, and senior year. It was a huge culture shock for me because I'm from a little bitty town where there's not a lot of people. We lived out in the country. I don't think there was even a red light in my town at the time. There's one little teeny tiny mom and pop grocery store, one little mom and pop gas station. Like, it's very small. So I didn't have a lot of outings or getting to know people or go play with the neighbors or anything like that. So it was very shocking for me, but I'm glad I got to experience both. Another fact is I'm terrified of snakes. Like, if I see a snake on TV, I'll have nightmares about it that night. And the funny part is Okinawa was covered in snakes, like the deadliest snakes in the world. And I saw them all the time, and it scared me to death. As long as I didn't see one in my house, I was fine, and I never did. There were a lot outside of my house, but not in my house. But biggest fear in the whole world is snakes. Another random fact is I'm currently in college. I'm a mom of 5, living in Germany. I teach a youth group. I'm married. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I'm in college. And I stitch. I managed to find time to stitch. I have to. It's like it's my time of sanity. I am currently getting a bachelor's in intercultural studies at a seminary school, and I'm ready to be done with it. Although I really enjoy learning, I'm just exhausted at this point. Just ready to just be able to breathe, come up for air. Another random fact is I have 2 tattoos. I have a butterfly and a cross. Another random fact is I'm from a town called Tishomingo, Mississippi. When people ask me where I'm from, I usually don't tell them that because they're like, what did you say? Like, did you even say a word? Nobody's ever heard of it. It's the name of an Indian chief. But I usually tell them it's Tupelo, Mississippi, because everybody's heard of Tupelo because that's where Elvis was born. But it's like 45 minutes from where I'm from. I've only worked one job my whole entire life. So one actual job where I actually had like a steady paycheck. And that was before I got married. I was a waitress at a restaurant called Country Boys, and that's where I met my husband. Okay, so now I'm getting into my favorites. My favorite book in the whole wide world is Outlander, the series Outlander. I've read all of them. I'm on book 9 right now, the newest book. And I will say the TV show does nothing for the books, but that's usually the case. My favorite movie is cliche, I know, but it's The Notebook, and it always has been. It spoke volumes to me. I don't know. It's just a sweet story. My favorite TV show, old TV show, is I Love Lucy. Love Lucille Ball. Love Desi Arnaz. Yes, I've watched every episode multiple times. New show, or newer show, I don't even think it's still airing anymore, is The Big Bang Theory. Me and my husband have been watching it nonstop lately. Favorite color is green. Everything in my house is green that has anything to do with me is green. And everybody around me knows that my favorite color is green because I have so much stuff that's green. All the color greens. Except for lime green. I think lime green's pretty, but it's not my favorite. I like all the other color greens. If I could meet any famous person, it would be Johnny Depp or Lucille Ball. I know she's passed away, but I think she would have been a really cool person to get to know. And Johnny Depp seems like a legit, like, all around good kind of guy. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But he seems like he'd be a cool guy to meet. My favorite place to be is Okinawa or the beach. Anywhere with sun and sand and water. My favorite animal is a horse. I've never owned a horse, but I've always wanted to. Horses are beautiful and majestic, and I hope to one day own a horse and own a ranch. That would be amazing. I know they're a lot of work. Everybody says you don't understand how much work they are, but I think they're just beautiful, beautiful creatures. Favorite FlossTubers. My top favorite. Okay, so I have a few that I'm like, oh my gosh, they uploaded a video. I have to stop everything I'm doing right now and watch it. And these are those FlossTubers. I love a bunch of them, but there are some that I'm just like giddy when I see that they've uploaded a new video. One is Amber from Rogue Mama Stitcher. I love watching her, and I love her pieces, and I love watching her son on there. He's sweet boy. And then another one is 23 Flavors of Stitching. I really love her pieces. And then, let's see, the other one is Lizzie Frizzy Stitches, or Frizzy Lizzie Stitches. And I was thinking, like, what makes those people my favorite? Honestly, I feel like I can relate to them the most because we like the same things. So the biggest thing is if they're stitching something that I like, then I want to watch. Sometimes when I find FlossTubers and they're stitching stuff that I really wouldn't ever consider, I still watch them, but they're not high on my list of like, oh, I gotta watch them right now. My favorite place to shop is Hobby Lobby or the Disney store. I love Disney, if you can't tell, and I think I've said it a million times. So those are just fun 20 random facts about me. You probably didn't even make it this far, and if you didn't, that's fine. And if you just needed some time to kill, there you go. I helped you. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next couple of weeks. Bye.